Kings and queens? It's your girl Key, and I'm back with another video. Before I get into this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel today. And don't forget to turn on those post notification bell so you never miss a post. So today you can see I'm by myself. I told y'all that I was going to do a video basically explaining, you know, my life and why I was going through so much, why I was so angry. And basically a part of the reason why we had stopped doing YouTube for a while. It took like a year break, I think. A year or two break. Yeah, year or two break. So, as you can see the title of this video may get a little emotional. I don't know. I haven't really talked about this in a long time. So, yeah, I'm going to get into it today. I'm going to start with me and my mother's relationship early on when I was young. So I lived with my mother up until I was 12. I was a really bad child. Like I just couldn't listen. I didn't want to listen. I just did what I wanted to do. Always getting put out of school, always in trouble. Man, it was so bad. Like my mother used to have to come to the school, and it was embarrassing, you know what I'm saying? She used to come there, walk the halls with me, like go to classes with me, sit in the classes. Like my teachers knew her, people in the school knew her, they knew who she was, and like it was just so embarrassing. But she did that because like that's what she felt like she needed to do. I wasn't doing no schoolwork, I wasn't listening, so she just felt like she needed to do that sometimes. You know, I would be pissed off. I would try to leave her in the crowd. Like I would walk fast and shit. I would walk fast and I would be like trying to leave her behind. She'd get mad, like, you trying to leave me behind? And I'd be like, yo, like, what the fuck? Just go home or something. You know what I'm saying? That'll be the best time when she was ready to go home. Like, whew, thank God. So she did that a lot, you know what I'm saying? And it became like a point to where as though I would be getting into stuff in school, at home. Like I was just disrespectful. You feel me? I ain't want to hear nothing that she had to say. You know what I'm saying? She felt like she was doing what she needed to do as a mother, and I just felt like I ain't care about none of that. So it came to a point where as though she was just like, I'm over it. Like, you with me full time. Like, I wanted to be with my father so bad, so it was just like, she dropped me off. I was 12 years old. I'll never forget. We pulled up to my father's house. I had my bags packed. Well, it was packed with trash bags. That was my bags. And she dropped them off on this porch. And she said, he'll be out here to get you. So that was like the end of me and my mother really being together every day, you know, what I was used to Monday through Friday, being with her and then going with my father like the afternoon after school on Friday. So for a while when she dropped me off, she would come, you know, because that was in high school. Of course, I was transitioning to high school around this time. So this is when I was transitioning, like 12, you go to high school like 13, 14, no 13, like I think 12 and a half, you going transitioning into high school, whatever. So in the beginning, she would come and she would give me lunch money. She paid for my phone. So that's the only way I had a phone. That was her way of communicating with me, because her and my father didn't get along. They didn't get along at all. Like they was always fussing. It was just a lot of back and forth with them since I was young. That's a part of the reason why, you know, they got divorced and everything, and they just couldn't get along. Like it was always like clashing. She would come to my games. I started playing basketball. I started playing basketball in like the 10th grade. So she would come to my games, and after a while, she would come out, like sometimes, some weekends we would go out to dinner, but she would come out there. My mother and my father, they lived far from each other. Like, if you know anything about Baltimore, Maryland, period, my father lived in Essex, and my mother lived in Columbia. So very far from each other. They like that's like Howard County, from Howard County all the way to Baltimore County. So, like, at least like 40 minutes, probably 40 minutes apart, or maybe like an hour with traffic, depending on the time of day that you're traveling from out there. So she would come out there, you know what I'm saying? when I was young, in my younger days, we would go out to eat, sit down to eat, and she would buy me a few things, and that was really it, you know. After a while, once I really started getting a little bit older, probably like 14, it stopped. Like, she still paid for my phone. That's one thing that she did do. That was how we were supposed to be able to communicate. So she still paid for my phone, but from what I can remember, I didn't see her as much anymore. Like, it started to turn into, it's just too far, and I can't do it. I don't have the money to come out there, and I'm a single parent, you know, because I had another sister that she was taking care of on her own. My sister ain't have her fault in her life, but I did, you feel me? So I guess in her eyes, it was just like, you know, you got a parent out there that's taking care of you, he can take care of you, and he got a wife, and y'all, it's like a little family thing. I guess that's what she was looking at in her eyes. And she was taking care of my sister. She just couldn't, I guess she just felt like she just couldn't keep coming all the way out there from, you know, Colombia. So it's been a while since me and my mother really lived in the same house, you know. As I got older, I always was back and forth. You know, my mother, one thing she would do is like, because me and my father couldn't get along either, so one thing she would do was like always let me come back to her house. You know, me and my father got into it. He wanted to take me over there to my mother's house, and then me and her get into it. He wanted to take me back. She wanted to take me back to my father's house. It was just like a back and forth. Like, me growing up, it was a lot of back and forth between my parents. It was just like, well, I'm tired of it, so I'm going to take her to you. Well, I'm tired of it, so I'm going to bring her back to you. My life is like a roller coaster, I'm telling y'all. So, I started living with my father full time. Never really seen my mother like that, and I ain't even call her, you feel me? Because I just felt like, I guess when I was younger, I just felt like, you feel me, you dropped me off here, you said one thing, but it didn't even end up staying like that forever. You basically just like dropped me off, and it was like, she good, she got her father, you feel me? But you weren't thinking about when I got older and when I was going to need a woman figure in my life, you know, to tell me about womanly things that a man can't tell me, you feel me? Me and my father, wife, we ain't have no relationship once I got older. Me and her, we didn't click at all, you feel me? So I didn't really have nobody to tell me that, you know, unless I would like talk to my mother on the phone or whenever we was going back and forth or whatever. So, like I said, everything stopped with her. Most we would do was talk on the phone sometimes, and she would call me, because like I said, I wouldn't even really call her like that, and she would feel some type of way, or like, you don't call me, what I'm paying phone for, and I'm just like, I don't know, like, I never really had a response for it. It was just like, I don't know, like, but in my head, it's just like, I don't really care to call you, you feel me? Like, I don't care to. I would like to see you, that's what I would like to do. So, me growing up, that really, you know, it weighed down on me a lot, because my mother had health problems. She had a heart condition, and she had our first heart attack when I was in the 9th grade. She was about 35, 36, very young. So she was out at a restaurant with some friends. They was having dinner, and she said she just remembered grabbing her chest and yelling out like she needs some water. Then she just passed out. She was 36 or 35. When she passed out, she ended up dying. Like, she was gone. And one of her co-workers had brought her back to life. He did, you know, CPR on her. And once the ambulance and all that got there, that actually saved her life. So he saved her life. My mother was in a coma, you know, for some days. It was very hard for me, you know, you feel me? I was in 9th grade, but I was strong, because nobody would have really even known what I was going through. Of course, like the teachers and stuff, they knew, they had to know. But I just remember like it being very hard. At this time, I was still living with my mother because this is before she even dropped me off, you feel me? At this time, I was still living with her. And I was going to school out Columbia. So, of course, like I said, the distance. My father ended up having to take me to school, back and forth to school out there, you know, which was a lot every morning. You know, when you're in high school, you gotta get up early as fuck to get to school. So just imagine how early he had to get up just to drive me all the way back out there. So, eventually he just started getting tired of it. Like, my mother was in a coma for a few days, and even my father would take me after school when he would come get me, or in high school, I was in ROTC. So me and my ROTC teacher was real close, and she was close with my mother. So if my father couldn't take me up there at the school, she would take me. And right when I left from school to see it, and I just remember like days I would go in there, and she was just laying down. She couldn't talk to me. She was in a coma, so she couldn't talk to me. All I could do was talk to her, you know. And people telling me at a young age, they like, she can hear you, but she can't respond to you. So I'm just thinking like, damn, you feel me? I felt like it was my fault, because I was just so bad. Like, I just felt like I was just stressing her out, you feel me? I just felt like I was the reason why I had to, because if I wasn't stressing out, she wouldn't have been in there. I knew I was gonna get a little emotional. I'm gonna try to get through this video the best way that I can. But so it'd be days and days after school I would go in there, I would talk to her. She wouldn't talk back, of course. She could hear me, I guess. And I remember this one day, can't remember how many days she was in the coma, but it was for a while. Cause I remember my father was just getting fed up. Like, he was just tired of taking me to school all the way out there, you feel me? And I remember this one day I walked in and she was sitting in the chair. Like, she wasn't in the bed no more. She wasn't doing that stuff no more. She was breathing on her own. Everything was fine. She was sitting in the chair. So when I walked in, it was like, I was surprised. I was just looking like, and I was happy. I was like, Ma, I was happy that she was up. She could talk to me. And I feel like she was happy to see me too. I came in there with my father. So my father let me go in there and he let me talk to her. I was talking, so I gave her a hug and everything. And she was asking me where my sister was. Cause me and my sister, we got two different fathers. So at that time, my sister was real young. So that's when her father was still in her life a bit, I guess. And she was with him. So I haven't talked to her. You know, me and my sister was usually being together every day. Of course, we live with our mother, so I haven't even talked to her. So I didn't even know what was going on with her or anything. So my mother asked me, you know, where your sister? I said, I don't know. And my father was like, she with her father, I believe. And, you know, if you don't know, when you're in a coma for a certain amount of days and you basically, you dead in the brain, you feel me? And when you come back, if God give you the opportunity to come back, you forget everything. Like, you forget a lot of things. You probably remember the important things. Of course, you're gonna remember like your children, your family, but you forget like events and like things that happen. Eventually, it'll come back to you when you go through life. I guess that's what they say. The doctors say it'll come back to you. So eventually, things started coming back to her, but it was a lot of things that she forgot. You know, so it was very different. I continued to stay with my father for a little bit until she got better, was out the hospital and everything. She snapped back quick. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I will say. She ended up having to get a surgery, and she had to get a pacemaker in her. She had to get a surgery. They had to put the little pacemaker in there so it can monitor her heart. So that's supposed to be for like, if anything happens, if she passes out again or something like that, it's supposed to be an automatic CPR. Basically, it's supposed to bring her back. And it's supposed to be regulating what's going on with her. Like, if it feel like she's stressed, it'll go off and stuff. It'll start, like your heartbeat, it'll go off and stuff. So pacemaker is basically there to make sure, you know, nothing bad happens. So we got through that, man. And that is when she dropped me off and everything. That was when, after that, when she got out, when she just was done. So to speed it up a bit, when I was, you know, going through what I was going through, and I was, you know, basically homeless, I ain't had nowhere to go. I was very surprised because at this time I was, I want to say 22, 23, and yeah, I want to say like 23. I ain't had nowhere to go. I was out on the streets. I was living with people. You know, I was doing a lot of stuff in the streets, selling drugs, all types of stuff. You name it, I did it. And at this time in my life, I was just very broken. You know, I was just surprised that my mother wouldn't let me come stay with her. You feel me? And I feel like that was because my father put a lot of stuff in her head. You feel me? Because my mother was never like that. Like, no matter what, she would always let me come back and stay with her. And it was just like something was different. So, and at that time, her and my father, once I got older, they started communicating. I forgot to add that in. Like, they started communicating. Finally, they got it when I was 21. They finally got it. They threw a party for me and everything, y'all. Like, I was so surprised. So, as I got older, up in my 20, 21 adult, they started communicating, they got along, so they talked a lot. And that's why I say I felt like he put stuff in her head, because she was never like that, you feel me? Anytime I would say, "Ma, I need somewhere to stay," or something, anything like that, my mother would never, you know, deny me or come into her crib. So it was just different, you know? One day, I remember she called me, and she was just like, "Hey, I didn't want to call you, but I needed you for something." And she basically needed me to go to court with her because she had a situation going on. I'm not even going to get into that situation because that shit just makes me angry. But she had a situation going on and she needed me, you know, to come, you know, be there for her or whatever, because it was getting real. Like, motherfuckers was really trying to send my mother to jail. Like, one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't play about my fucking mother. No matter what she did, you feel me? Your parents is always gonna make mistakes, you feel me? They not perfect. It's not a fucking manual to being a parent. It's none of that. So I try my best, and I'm glad I do, not to hold my parents accountable for shit that they just didn't know. You feel me? I just look at it like they ain't know no better. You know, and I just know that I want to be the best parent when I'm ready to be a parent. You know what I'm saying? So she needed me to go to court for her. I'm like, okay, when, what day? And she told me. Took off work, I was there. So I was there for her, you know, because that's just who I am. Like, I don't care. Like, I wouldn't even be here for my parents, you know, regardless of what they did to me. I still had the heart of, you know, if something happened to them the day of tomorrow, I'm gonna still be hurt, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like your parents sometimes is the first ones to put you through the most pain. At least for my life, that's how it was, you know. So I was there for her, went there, did what she needed me to do. It still didn't go too good in my eyes. Didn't go too good in her eyes. It didn't even, you feel me? But I did what I had to do for her. I don't give a fuck what it is. I wasn't gonna tell them shit. After that, the situation was just so depressing for my mother. I watched this lady, like, we would always go to Sunday dinner at my aunt's house, and my aunt could cook. She's actually a caterer, so she could cook real good. And food bomb. Everybody going over there on Sunday. We know we ready to eat good. And I watched my mama sit there and like just not eat nothing. Like, she wasn't eating, like, because when I just feel like when somebody close to you betray you, that shit, it really hurt. You know what I'm saying? When somebody like close to you, like blood, bonded, like you would never think that that person would betray you. You would never think that that person would do something like that to you. When somebody like, when shit like that happens, it really hurts. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're a good person. And especially when you've been fighting a battle with this person for years, and then this person takes the one person that means the world to you and turns them against you. That shit really hurts. It eats you up inside. And I can only imagine, like, I watched her just not eat. I just watched her just stay off into wherever she was staying off into. She was just out of it, you feel me? And from that day forward, I was just like, I always prayed to God, like, throughout my life, that our relationship would be better. You know, because I knew that she had health problems, and I didn't know how long I was gonna have with her. So I always just prayed, like, man, you know, I just want to grow older and be able to do things with her, travel with her, buy her first house, buy her, you know, a car that she want, anything. I always prayed for it. Things just didn't work out that way. So from that day forward, when I seen her like that at that table, I said, I'm gonna do better as a child, because even though you feel like your parents should be doing all the work, sometimes they not, you know, sometimes they just too, they might be grown a little bit, but sometimes parents, they got too much pride to even say to their child or come to their child and be like, you know, I messed up, or this, that, and the third. So sometimes you had to stand up and be the bigger person, the child, and take matters into your own hand and, you know, make things right before it's too late. And that's what I did, and I'm glad I did. Because, you know, who would have thought that an unfortunate situation would have happened? So 2018, till this day, will always in history be the best year of my life. The best year of my life ever. My mother, when me and Brezzi moved into our first spot, my mother would come around like all the time. Like every day she would come over, even if we just chilling, watching movies, drinking together. She would, you know, be stressed out and she want to go out somewhere. We even started communicating more. Like, she would call me all the time. I would call her all the time. If I had something on my mind, I would call her. If she had something on her mind that she needed to get off her chest, she would call me and vent to me. It was like we needed each other, you feel me? And we eventually started to see that. We started helping each other. I mean, she would call me, whatever problem she was having. We sit on the phone for hours. I would listen to her, you know, we would talk to each other. She would ask me for advice. And, you know, that mean a lot when your parent could come to you and ask you for advice if they trusted your word. You know, I would go to her and I would ask her for advice, you know. I would talk to her about a lot. We would sit on the phone for hours. Like, sometimes we would sit on the phone and not talk about nothing. But 2018 was the best year of my life. That whole beginning of that year until the end, that's when it got really bad. But that's when we just started having so much fun together. I was the type of person that I wasn't big on, you know, taking pictures and videos, but my mother was big on that. She always told me, like, no, take a picture, do something, you know. She was big on, like, memories and stuff, and I'm glad she was, because if she didn't make me, I wouldn't have really anything of us, you know, me older, and these years, I wouldn't have anything. So I'm glad that she made me do that. So, best year of my life. We did everything, bars. I mean, man, we had so much fun. And every time she came around, like, it don't matter what she was going through, what I was going through, whoever, she brightened up a room. You feel me? Like, it was just her personality. She was so funny. Like, when I tell y'all she could have been a comedian, like, she was the funniest person I know. It don't matter what kind of day you was having. You was mad, sad, angry. She was going to turn it around, I'm telling you. it was like an angel on earth, you know. So December 2018, probably like the end of the year. Yeah, the end of 2018, her health just started acting crazy. Like, all I remember her telling me is she was using the depot shot. You know, women, if you're a woman, you know what that is. She was taking a shot, and she was taking it for years. Like, and it's really not good for you. So women, pay attention, because these doctors and stuff, they tell you to take this stuff and it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. It sounds good for what you needed to do, but it's really not good for your body, because after a while it starts to deteriorate your body for real. It starts to do things to your body. It starts to bring things into your body that wasn't even there before. So to each his own. Everybody got their own opinion, but in my opinion, I wouldn't suggest anybody do it. Like, it's not safe for the body at all. So she said she was getting a depot shot. She said she had stopped getting it, and she would come over, you know, this was like the end of the year, like I said, when her health just started declining. She would come over and she'd be bleeding real hard. Like, she thought it was just her coming on her period, you know, because she had just got out the shot, and she would be bleeding like excessively, like through her clothes and everything. Like, she had put a diaper on, everything, and it just was so excessive. Excuse me. For anybody, this might be a lot, so I'm gonna put in the disclaimer right here. If you don't like hearing anything about blood or you know, anything like that, this is the disclaimer. Sorry, exit if you don't want to hear this. But so she started bleeding real hard. I remember when she came over one day, she was sitting on the couch, and yo, she bled so hard, she stained up the couch. And I wasn't even mad. Like, I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what's going on? And she was just like, you know, she went and got a checkup and everything. She was waiting for the results to come back, but she just really thought it was because, you know, when she got off the shot, she was just coming on her period, and it was making it a little harder, you know. So she did say she went to go get checked up and stuff, because after a while it was just like, okay, she was on her period, supposed to be period, for longer than she was supposed to be. So at that point, it's like, okay, this ain't no period. Like, what the hell is going on? So December 2018 is when it all just went down. I remember me and Brezzi was about to move into a new apartment, and I was sitting down and I was filling out the paperwork to move into this apartment, get everything finalized. And my mother had called me, and I had texted her and said, I can't talk right now, I'm doing something, you know what I'm saying? So she texted me. I told her I was doing the paperwork for the apartment, so I couldn't talk at that moment. So she texted me and said, call my doctor for me, call this place. It wasn't her doctor, it was a place she had went to take some tests. She told me to call them because they had never got back to her with the results. I called them, they wasn't picking up the phone. I actually called them a few times, wasn't picking up the phone. So I said, Ma, they not picking up the phone. So she texted me, she said, all right, I'm driving to Howard County General right now. And mind y'all, she was working in Baltimore City. I don't know why the hell she wanted to drive from Baltimore City all the way to Howard County General. I do, actually, because she did say she used to work at Howard County General, so she knew all the nurses in them there, so she felt like she would be more so comfortable going somewhere where she thought, you know, she knew people. But in all reality, those people wasn't even there no more. Like, half of those nurses, they wasn't even there no more. So she told me she was driving out there. You know, she said, I'm still bleeding. She said, I bled all down the floor at work. She said at work, I just, like, it was just everywhere. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm automatically, like, I'm worried. So I'm like, okay, as soon as I'm done, I'll be there. So her friend at the time had met her out there, you know, so she was with her. She had texted me, let her know that she was with her. And when she got there, she let me know. And I'm still doing the paperwork. And all of a sudden, I get a text saying, I'm here with your mom. She just passed out. And it was so scary. Like, we was leaving. They said, I don't remember what they said was wrong, but they tried to make it seem like it really wasn't nothing. They said, but as soon as she was leaving out, she passed out and had a seizure. So I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, a seizure? What you mean? So I'm like, what? Like, is she good? Like, I'm on my way out there now. At this point, I'm on my way out there now. So they bring her back in. They checking her again to see if she good. Actually, no, this happened twice. So the first time she didn't have a seizure. The first time she just passed out. So they bring her back in there to check her. Then that's when they like trying to make it seem like it's nothing. Tell her to leave again. This time when she about to leave, she passes out and have a seizure. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm on my way out there now. So I drive out there. At this point, they admitted her to a hospital because it's like, are y'all dumb or are y'all dumb? Y'all can't figure out what's wrong. Y'all telling me y'all cannot see what's wrong. And mind you, her doctor is in Howard County, but that day her doctor wasn't in the office. So her doctor is literally across the street. I guess they couldn't get the information on her that she needed from her doctor. So, you know, I immediately drove out there when I was done with everything I had to do. Like, I had to wrap it up real quick. And I drove out there. When I got out there, her friend was still there. Me and Brezzi pulled up. My mother in the bed, you know, she's still in the ER. And her friend is just telling me what happened. I'm like, Ma, you good? Like, she like, I'm good. I don't know what she was crying for. My mother was just that type of person. Like, even if she was in a messed up situation, she just make everything into a joke. I mean, I guess that's how she cope, you know. And that's how I am. Like, I'm really a jokey person. Like, if I'm hurting, I try my best to make something into a joke, or I try to laugh about something, you know. But she was just like, I don't know what she crying for. And the friend was just like, I thought she was gonna die. Like, I thought she was dead. So we just laughing, you know. We in the hospital laughing, you know. Like, it was just always good times with her. So at that point, the friend eventually leaves, and the doctors eventually come in, and my mother telling them who I am. And she like, is it okay, you know, if they in here? And she like, yeah, of course, like, it's my daughters, like, go ahead. So they basically saying they found something, like, it was a mask. They found the mask, and they needed to go in and see how bad it was. Basically take a piece of it out and see what was in the mask or whatever. I don't know. I just remember that it was a mask. So she had to get a biopsy. That's what it is, a biopsy. She had to get that. She had a mass on her cervix, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right. So already I'm like, surgery, like, nah. I don't want them putting her to sleep, none of that. But you know, this time around, I just really sat back and I just let my mother do what she felt was best. Because I didn't want to bring on no stress, because I can be stressful. Like, I really like gets to going in, and my mother, I ain't want her to be stressed. I just wanted her to, you know, feel okay, whatever the problem. I just wanted it to be over for real. So they like, okay, we are very booked up. This hospital, Howard County General, I don't mean no harm, but if your family is in need, you in Baltimore, Maryland, do not take your family out there. I don't know what is wrong with that hospital, but they are part of Johns Hopkins. And if you know about Johns Hopkins, don't take your peoples there. So anyway, I wanted to take my mother out of that hospital so bad because they was pissing me off. I wanted to take her to university so bad. So anyway, they tell her, they keep coming back. They saying she gonna have surgery that night. Then they come back and say, she gonna have surgery in a few. It's a lot going on. Then we still in the ER because they like, it's no beds open, so she can't even go to a room. You know how uncomfortable those ER beds are because they're not meant for you to stay in there overnight. They claim that all their beds was filled. And my mother was just kept complaining like it hurted so bad. Like she was just saying it was so uncomfortable, and I just felt so bad. So once I figured out everything that was going on, that she needed to stay, I went home and I already made up in my mind that I was coming back and I was going to stay there with her overnight. So this is when Brezzi was trying me, y'all, because she like, no, she's gonna be okay. Why you wanna stay there? I'm like, girl, I'm not trying to hear nothing that you're saying, period. Like, I know when something's wrong with my mother, so I'm going and I'm staying. I'm saying, if you're not going, then you can stay here by yourself. Like, she like, I want to sleep in bed. I said, well, you can sleep in the bed. You can sleep in the bed, honey. I'm just letting you know that I'm not leaving my mother in the hospital, period. Like, I had to do that shit when I was young. I'm not doing it this time. So eventually she like, okay, all right, I understand, you know. I understand if you feel like she's not going to be okay, then let's go. Yeah, let's go. Pack a bag or get a blanket or something because I'm fucking leaving. So we end up going back. I think I just wanted to leave and come back because I wanted to, of course, get a blanket because it's cold as shit in there. And I think we wanted to eat something before I don't remember, but I know we did go home to get blankets and prepare, and prepare food this night we was about to have. So I went back, we went back. When we went back, the doctor was in there, so my mother was like, when I was walking in, so I walked in, she was done with that. I sat down, you know, of course we talking and everything, and I was asking if she good, she like, yeah, I'm alright, this bed just uncomfortable as hell. So me and Brezzi, we literally slept in a chair, a hard ass chair. I said, if my mother gonna be uncomfortable, I'm gonna be uncomfortable, period. And I don't give a fuck about who like it or what. If she was gonna be uncomfortable, I was gonna be uncomfortable, period. And that's just what it was. So we slept in the chair until the next morning. Like, it was so hard. I really couldn't sleep. Like, I was waking up in the middle of the night, and I would wake up and my mother would still be woke watching TV. Like, I know she didn't get a lot of sleep. But, like, the thing about my mother is she in the hospital and she worried about me, y'all. Like, I would, like, move or any type of move I would make, my mother would be turned around looking at me, and I'm looking at her. Like, I would wake up because I would feel her looking at me, and I'm just looking at her like, I'm thinking in my head, like, why are you worried about me? You the one in the hospital bed. But okay. So, stayed there that night. Of course, they was procrastinating. They came in the morning, the time that she was supposed to get surgery, she didn't get it. I'm just like, okay, like, I'm over this. Like, at this point, I was just ready to go out. But like I said, I just wanted to be calm for her. I didn't want her to be stressed out and worried about me going off on people. So finally, eventually, like the middle of the day, the next day, they got her into the room where you had to go first before you get surgery. And I was like, okay. They said everything that needed to be done. What she needed to get done, why it was being done, and what was gonna happen. I told them, you know, okay. So I was like, dang, I'm hungry. First I woke up that morning, we was hungry, so my mother gave us her card and told us to go get something to eat. She like, well, don't bring it back in here because you know I can't eat. I'm like, yeah, Ma, we not gonna come back in here. So that was breakfast. We got a little something. Everything is expensive in the hospital, so I didn't want to spend too much, so we just got something small. We ate and we went back in there with her. And then she was preparing to go into surgery, so her friend had ended up coming back to sit with her, and it was like two of her friends that came back and wanted to sit with her. So I wanted to be fair, you know, because you couldn't have a certain amount of people in there. And because I was gonna stay, like I was gonna stay that whole day too. Like I did not plan on leaving at all, y'all, for real. I wanted to stay, but I wanted to be fair because somebody had to leave in order for the other person to come in. So I was just like, you know what, I think I'm gonna just go home and take a shower so y'all can come in, you know, spend some time with her. And then my mother like, okay. And as I was leaving out, something just didn't feel right. Like I was just worried. I didn't know what was gonna happen. And I was just like, something in my mind was just like, this don't feel right. But I'm gonna just, you know, be fair and let somebody else come in, you know what I'm saying? So as I was leaving out, I stopped at the door and I turned around and I was just staring at her. I looked at her and she yelled at me. She was like, go ahead. Like, cause she knew like I was not gonna leave. Like I was not trying to leave. So I was just like, all right, Ma, like, love you, all that. And that was the last time that I seen her alive. So I went home, eating everything. I'm thinking she gonna be all right. The doctor said she was gonna let me know when she got out of surgery. She was gonna call me. I'm thinking everything gonna be all right. So I go home. Later on in the day, later on that night, she got out of surgery. So the doctor called me. They said she did good. She up. She in a room now. She in like after surgery care room, whatever it is. They like she up. She in a room now. She did good in the surgery. She came right out. She was straight. They still was waiting on results though. So he put in a room. At that point, everybody there with my mother, like my sister, she finally make it there. Everybody else that wanted to say they made it, they all her friends. And so she had a lot of people there with her, my other family members and stuff. So I'm texting, I'm like, I'm glad surgery went good. Are you okay? She like, yeah. She like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, you know. She said a lot of people was there, so I let her enjoy that. I was talking to my sister as well, so she was saying a lot of people was there. So I said, okay. I felt like, all right. Well, my other sister there, so she good. Probably about 2-3 hours later, I'm getting a phone call from my sister, and I'm looking at my phone like, why the fuck is she calling me? Like, what is she calling me for? So I answer the phone, y'all. I answer the phone, and all I hear in the background is, I don't know what to say to her. I don't know what to say to her. So I'm like, hello, like, what's going on? And they put a doctor on the phone, and he said, we are trying our best to resuscitate your mother. He said she's not coming back. We've been doing CPR for this amount of time now. We gonna have to stop. We gonna have to stop. It's not working. We gonna have to stop. And I just remember, like, I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm in that moment, I'm just praying. I'm like, God, please, no. So I don't even know. I wasn't even thinking, y'all. Like, as soon as he said that, I said, I'm on my way. And mind you, it's me, Brezzi, and my cousin at the moment. I'm going crazy. I'm just picking shit up. Like, I grabbed the keys real quick. I threw my shoes on real quick. I ran out the door, y'all. I didn't even close the door. Like, I was just knowing that I was going to get to my mother. So I'm realizing that I thought I picked up the keys, but I didn't pick up the keys. So I had to run back in the house and tell them what was going on. Then they had to hurry up and jump into action. And we all had to hurry up and get out the house. In that same moment, I'm having a panic attack. I never had a panic attack in my life, y'all. Lie to you not, I never had a panic attack in my life. Like, I just couldn't calm down. I was just so over the top. Like, it was just so much. Like, I was just so scared. When he said, we gotta stop CPR, she's not coming back and all that, I'm just like, what the hell? Like, no, don't stop. Like, I'm thinking, like, I couldn't even say nothing. I just knew that I was on the way. So I called my father on the phone in the car, because I'm thinking, like, maybe this will calm me down. And I'm telling him what's going on. He's trying to calm me down. He like, you gotta calm down, because y'all, I couldn't breathe. Like, I was really having a panic attack, and it was just like, I really could not breathe. So everybody just trying to calm me down. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just crying. I'm just messed up. Like, Breezy driving us there. She driving us there. I'm just so messed up, y'all. I'm crying. It's all over the place. Okay, so I called my cousin, told her what was going on, and she was just like so surprised. She like, what? I just left She like, I literally just left from there and she was good. What happened? Like, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just letting you know what's going on. She like, all right, she on her way. She get there before me because she closer. She already ain't come up here. So, I'm driving, man. Brezzi driving, man. We driving. And it was raining so hard, man. But all I could think of in my head, like, man, drive this car fast and drive fast. If I would have drove, y'all, I'm telling you, I probably would have killed myself and everybody else, because I didn't care that it was raining. Like, I couldn't think about nothing else but getting to my mother. So we got there. Brezzi dropped me off in the front and they went to go park. I ran in. I already knew something was wrong and what may have been, because I ran in, I told them who I came to see. They straight told me where to go. I ain't had to do nothing else, no visitor pass, nothing. Man, I ran it all the way down that hall, all the way to my mother's room. I ran the whole way. Like, you would have thought, like, you see people in the movies and they be running through that was me, running through the hospital. So, when I got to the room, she was gone. She was already gone. It was too late. It was too late. Everybody was there. More people was on the way. I ain't never felt so fucked up in my life. Like, I just didn't know what to do. I wasn't ready to say goodbye. I didn't think I was gonna have to. I didn't think that that's how things was gonna end up. I went in that room and I just seen her laid out. She was gone. And I was just hugging a dead body. I was just holding a dead hand. I was a mess. I was crying all over her. Like, I know she was looking like, man, you a mess, man. You crying all, I was crying all on her forehead, y'all. Like, I was just messed up, yo. So, that's when everything it was a lot. I was so messed up. Like, I was really, like, screaming, crying. Like, they like, was closing the doors because I was so loud crying, yo. Like, I was fucked up. Like, I couldn't believe this was my life. And that's when shit got real. Like, I had to talk to investigators and shit, figure out if I wanted to do a fucking autopsy. Of course I did an autopsy because I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, she was just good. Like, I was just talking to her. So what happened between the time that I was here talking to her, everybody being with her? What happened? Like, I was at that point, I was looking at the hospital sideways. I was like, I needed answers. I was like, what the fuck did y'all do to my mother? What did y'all give her? What did y'all, like, I needed answers. One thing that pissed me off was, even though you felt like she was good, why didn't y'all have fall risk on her door like y'all had on everybody else's door when she just got out of surgery? The way that she died was, she got out the bed, she needed to use the bathroom, so she told everybody to step out. She wanted privacy. She got out the bed. You ain't even supposed to be getting out the bed and walking when you just had surgery like an hour or two ago. You ain't supposed to be doing none of that. So she got up. She wanted to use the bathroom. She wanted privacy. She went in the bathroom and she passed out. Hit her head, all that shit, whatever. She passed out, but it wasn't like she wasn't gushing or nothing like that. So I don't know how the fuck, this story still sounds crazy to me. I don't know how the fuck she even fell. Like, I would like to know how the fuck they found her for real. But it was so much going on, y'all. Like, I didn't have time. Like, I couldn't think straight. Like, at the time, I'm 25 years old. My sister 18. So we facing the fact that we gonna have to bury our mother, and me being the oldest, I know I'm gonna have to do majority of everything, and I don't know shit about none of this. So I get to talk to the investigators. They like, you want to do an autopsy? Yeah, do an autopsy and all that. I immediately had to like, it's like I needed to grieve, but I didn't even really get the chance to grieve because I immediately had to do everything else. I had to sign papers and shit at the hospital. It was just a lot. I had to go sit down and talk to the doctor to figure out what was going on. If they gave her, I asked her, did you give her this? She's allergic to this, she's allergic to that. They're like, no, we have that down. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. These dodo birds, they really couldn't tell me what happened for real. But the way that I'm looking at it and the way that I saw it was, y'all knew that she shouldn't have been walking within 2 or 3 hours of her having surgery. Like, she shouldn't have been up walking on her own. It should have been somebody helping her, or she probably shouldn't have been on her feet at all, to be honest. Because when she was in the ER and me and Brezzi was there, the first time when she was in the ER before she got into her surgery and all that, my mother didn't even go to the bathroom. She had a diaper on, and you know, the Depends, whatever. I keep saying diaper. What's the grown adult diapers? The Depends. She had that on, and she told me and Brezzi to help her, you know, change herself. Because she didn't want to get up and use the bathroom in the ER. You know, in the ER, you have to, it's not a bathroom in the room. You have to walk all the way out of the room to go to the bathroom. So she like, just help me. You know, we helped her change. So it was just like, I blamed myself, y'all, for the longest time for her dying, because I just felt like if I would have stayed with her, she wouldn't even have got up and used the bathroom. None of that would have happened. But in all reality, you can't stop what God has planned. God was ready for her to come home. And even though she was young, my mama was only 49 years old when she died. Even though she was young, God was ready for her. She'd been through a lot in life, you feel me? God said it was time to come. And that's how I started looking at it. That's how I got through, and that's how I cope with it. I still cope with it like that to this day, because, you know, of course, once my mother passed and I planned the funeral and everything, got all that out the way, I went crazy, because y'all know how funerals is and how family can be, fake family, whoever want to be family, people married into the family, all that shit, y'all know how that can be. So like I said, you know, a bitch that, I want to say she married my cousin. First of all, you already a weird ass bitch for marrying somebody that's in jail, but okay. She married my cousin while he was in jail. He been in jail for like hella years. He got out when he was old as shit. Then he went back, but that's another story. I ain't even gonna talk about that shit. But a weird ass bitch married my cousin, get close with my mother. I mean, was there for me and my sister when we was young. You know, watched us, took care of us for my mother, and considered herself an aunt to me. Stole from me and my sister, you feel me? That's basically what she did. That's basically what she did. For some weird reason, I don't know, you know, like I said, y'all know, me and my mother, we weren't close back in my younger days, but I would have never thought when it came to her paperwork, she would do some shit like put me and my sister as the contingent instead of the primaries when it come to her pension and shit. So, weird ass bitches decide they want to call me, oh, your mother has stuff that she wanted you to have, that she gave to me, she wanted me to give to you, and she wanted me to make sure that you and your sister got her money from her pension and y'all split it equally. She just didn't want it to be no fussing about who get what. She put a weird ass bitch that got married into a family on top and her ex-boyfriend. What my mother was thinking, I don't know, but she did this like when we wasn't even talking, we wasn't even good. So I know that she would have changed it eventually. I just wish that she would have got around to it before all this shit happened, because that shit was just a lot, yo. Like, me fighting with people trying to get money to get my mother buried. The one thing that I did do on her life insurance, she didn't have a beneficiary for that. So I put 2 and 2 together, because motherfuckers was trying to out-slick me but I had to really come up out of that vulnerable moment that I was having. That's why I say I really didn't get a lot of time to grieve, because I had to snap out of it so I could get shit done for my mother. And that's what I did. I had to come out of that vulnerable moment, and I had to think. I had to put my thinking cap on. You feel me? So that's when I called the life insurance. She ain't had no beneficial right. Boom, automatically go to the husband. She ain't had no husband, but the children. So it automatically went to us. Got that. That was how I got her buried. And I'm thinking it's an amount that it wasn't, and it was just a lot, y'all. Like, a lot of shit was just screwed up. And I tell y'all, this was like the worst time of my life, yo. Woo, that shit was bad. Like, y'all know, as soon as everything was over with the funeral, I was going off on everybody. Everybody that had something to say. In the process of me burying my mother, I got time now. I had time, y'all. Like, when I tell you I had time, I was going for blood, for real, about my mom. I was going for blood because motherfuckers was talking shit, and y'all thought that I was just going to be weak as shit the whole time. Like, nah. I just needed to get through what I was getting through for my mother, and that's it. Man, when I tell y'all, y'all know that's how your girl got on probation and all that. I just started going off. Like, I ended up on probation, and that's why 2018, the end of 2018 and 2019 was just a wreck for me, yo. A wreck. Like, shit just hit the fan. But yeah, that's really why everything was going so bad in my life, and that's why I was really angry. You know, I had a lot of anger, you feel me? I was just mad. I was upset. I was hurt. I was sad. I was depressed. I was angry. I was everything, every emotion that you can think of. Just imagine, like, you talking to your mother in 1 hour, and then about 2 hours later, she basically dead, and you don't even know that a couple hours before would have been the last time that you was gonna see her alive. You don't even know that. You ain't even thinking that. You thinking that you gonna come back and she gonna be alright. We gonna figure out what's going on. It ain't work like that, y'all. So this video was really for anybody, you know, that has lost a mom, a close one, anybody, a mom, a dad. Man, don't think that you're alone. I've been through it. I'm still going through it, and it's not easy. And don't let nobody put a time limit on your grieving process. You probably gonna grieve differently than everybody else. You are, because everybody's gonna grieve differently. And it's no time limit. It's no time limit to when you're gonna be over it. Hell, you never gonna be over it. That's your mother, that's your father, whoever. But this is for anybody that feel like they're alone. You're not alone. If anybody feel like, you know, they need somebody to talk to and they don't really have nobody to talk to when it comes to losing a parent or losing somebody close to you, somebody that raised you, man, my DM is open. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. Anything that y'all want to ask me, DM me. I'm going to have my Instagram link in the description. But I'm going to wrap this up here. And hopefully, you know, y'all can really feel where I'm coming from. Y'all can understand me. But before I end this video, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a post. And y'all, drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all feel about this video. Don't forget to subscribe, y'all. And please, 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 please share our videos, y'all. It means a lot to us when y'all comment how y'all feel, when y'all like. But we want y'all to like as much as possible so people can see us more, y'all. So if y'all could please like, share, comment, all of that. Blow the comments up. Let me know what y'all feel about this video. And let me know if there's any other story times or whatever else you want to hear me talk about on my own. Let Brezzi know, you know, if it's other videos you want her to do on her own. Alright, I love y'all. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, and comment. We out.